Now let's begin this half hour with a court case that is raising eyebrows. An Ohio woman suing a sperm bank for medical malpractice. The reason, she became pregnant with sperm from a black donor. NBC's Katie Turr is here with more. Katie, good morning.
Good morning, Tamron. Jennifer Cramblett says it was a one-number mix-up that resulted in her biracial daughter. Now she wants the sperm bank involved to pay up. Jennifer Cramblett gave birth to her daughter Peyton 2 years ago.
We love her more to this day. She's made us the people that we are. Never trade it for the world.
Despite that love, Cramblett is suing the Midwest Sperm Bank in Downers Grove, Illinois, for medical malpractice. Cramblett says she thought she was being inseminated with a white man's sperm, so the baby would look like her partner, Amanda Zinkon.
Hence why we chose a blonde hair, blue eye individual.
According to the lawsuit, after Cramblett was pregnant, she found out she was mistakenly inseminated with an African-American man's sperm instead. All because court papers claim a worker mistakenly read donor number 330 instead of donor number 380.
It wasn't as though she was calling in September of 2011 ordering a pizza. She was calling and ordering donor sperm.
You cannot just say, oops, I'm sorry, be happy you got a child, and walk away from this.
Cramblett suing in part, she says, so she and her partner can move to a larger and more diverse community.
We just want her to have the ability to see different cultures and possibly feel welcomed.
In the lawsuit, she says that living in Uniontown, Ohio, even getting a haircut for Peyton is difficult. According to the lawsuit, she says she must travel to a black neighborhood far from where she lives, where she is obviously different in appearance and not overtly welcome. But she insists the suit is not about race.
I don't find any problems with having a mixed-race child as far as I'm concerned.
NBC News reached out to the Midwest Sperm Bank, but they declined to comment, their lawyer even hanging up on us. Cramblett and her partner provided these pictures of Peyton to NBC News and say they're not worried about what their daughter will think of the lawsuit when she grows up.
And she will understand that it wasn't about, we didn't want you, we wanted a white baby. That's not what it was about.
Cramblett says while her family is loving, they don't fully understand her lifestyle as a lesbian. And she's worried about how they'll unconsciously treat her daughter, which is also why she wants to move. Now she's suing the Midwest Sperm Bank for damages in excess of $50,000. Tamron.
All right, Katie, thank you. There are many layers here, but I am surprised that they write down the information and it's not in a computer and a database. You're trusting a handwritten note on, who the donor is.
And not to get into the legalities here, but if there are people in that community making her and her daughter feel anything less than welcome, then shame on them.
Absolutely.
But to hear more about that, to find out.
Deciding to get pregnant is always a leap of faith, particularly when using a sperm donor. That's why the woman you're about to meet, Jennifer Cramblett, did so much research on the donor and chose the one that she believed would be just the right fit. Imagine her shock when she learned the sperm bank mixed up the sample and she was pregnant with a child of a different race.
All right, let's meet her now. Joining us exclusively is Jennifer Cramblett, the mother of now 2-year-old mixed-race girl, and Jennifer is joined by her attorney, Tim Mincy. Okay, thank you guys for joining us. First to you, Jennifer. So, Jennifer, I want you to explain to us what happened here. You and your partner, Amanda, you decide that you want to start a family, so you opt to use the services of a sperm bank. So how did you learn that the sperm that you were pregnant with was from a black man and not a white man as you had ordered?
Well, we actually, 5 months into the pregnancy, we had called to try to get some more vials for the second pregnancy for Amanda. And when I called to order that sperm and those vials, I asked them for 380, and they came back on the line and say, I do believe we've sent you donor number 330. Are you sure that's not what you asked for? And I obviously said no. My donor number is 330 or 380, and they came back on the line and said, well, unfortunately, I think we've erred up and sent you 330.
Did they tell you then that the sperm you had gotten was from a black man? How did you find out?
Once they did some, and you know, my shock, you know, just it being the different number that I wanted, they said, hold on, let's go into your file, let's do a little bit more research. Came back on the line and then had asked me if I had requested an African-American donor. And at that point I said no, 380 was blonde-haired, blue-eyed, something resembling my partner Amanda. And at that point they said, well, I do believe 330 is an African-American donor, and basically we can no longer talk to you anymore.
Wow.
Wow.
And listen, I understand that someone has to take responsibility. That was a pretty egregious error, but I mean, you know, kids are born with all sorts of things that parents don't expect to do and to learn about, and that's kind of part of parenting. Do you disagree? I mean, kids are picked on for a number of different things, and if she's loved at home, why does it matter? Yeah, why does it matter what, you know, what other people say? And then when she gets older, she may read about this, and how do you think she's going to feel about this later?
Yeah, you know, we were always going to have that conversation. If I was here right now with a lawsuit, she's going to know what she is and where she came from and how all this happened. So that conversation was going to be had no matter what. Mm-hmm. She's going to know that we love her unconditionally. Everybody around her loves her. So I think she's going to know why we did what we did. And the basis of the lawsuit and why we're doing what we're doing is so that somebody is held accountable. And this isn't going to happen to anybody else.
Speaking of that, how has the sperm bank responded? Timothy?
They haven't. When I called, found it out, they said, we can no longer talk to you, hang up, that's it. A few weeks later, I received a very small letter that said, we're sorry for the mix-up. Here is your refund of just the 6 vials that we got wrong. Sorry about the mistake. And that was it. And nobody's reached out, and I think if that would have happened, first and foremost, even when that first conversation happened, if I got shown any bit of compassion and ownership of this mistake, then we may not be sitting here.